guys, welcome to our August compilation video. This is where, for the newbies, we take all of the expected kit releases for the month of August and we compile them all into one easy to relocate video so that you know what to watch out for if you're in the market for some model kits this month. We have releases from Round 2 and Revell, as well as three of the main players in Japan. No Tamiya this month, but we have Aoshima, Hasegawa, and Fujimi. So starting on the domestic side of things here, for those who don't care about what comes out of Asia, Round 2 actually has a pretty full slate this month. They've been a little, not so much hit and miss, but a little light on releases in the last couple of months, and they're certainly going to make up for it this month if all of this stuff comes out. Of course, we are still waiting on some June kits and all of the July kits, so be aware that these are the things they say are going to come out in August, but how many of them then actually do, I guess we'll find out. On the MPC side of things, they're going to be reissuing the 1973 Mustang 3-in-1. This has been retooled back to its 1973 annual configuration. It's going to have new decals along with two different tire options, three different intake options, buildable as factory stock, custom, or drag. Has roll caging, all sorts of things like that. Now, keep in mind, this is the MPC annual. This is not the AMT annual that was later awfully backdated into a 1971, nor is it the Warren Taupe Trans Am car. This is the MPC 1973 Mustang, which is a completely different kit because, of course, way back when, they were completely separate companies. Also, they're going to reissue the Mack DM600 tractor, Class 8, tractor-trailer tractor. People may look at that and go, didn't they already do that once? Yes, they did reissue it a few years ago, or maybe it was even longer than that at this point. But by popular demand, it is getting another run around, and if you missed it the first time, you have an opportunity sometime the next month or so to pick that one up. Over at AMT, quite a little list here, actually. They're going to be reissuing the 1957 Corvette. I believe this is an older tooling, as far as I know. I don't remember there being a new tooled or a AMT Ertl era 57 Corvette. The last time I think the 57 Corvette was seen was probably in a Racing Champions AMT box, but before that was in like a 3-pack of Corvettes with a 53 and something else that escapes my mind right now. This is going to be boxed up in that Lucinda Lewis car culture boxing that the 57 Chevy got a few months ago towards back at the beginning of the year. It's going to be molded in either white or aqua, so you have to pay attention, of course, to the molded-in stickers on the car, depending on what you want to do, because the box art car is just is a aqua or mint green, for lack of a better term, Corvette, and so they're molding it both ways. So you pay attention to your boxing. You're going to get all that sort of car culture stuff that you got with the 57, a little booklet of photography and talking about, how great the 1950s were, never mind the fact that Cold War and all the rest of that happy nonsense was going on. And then they're also going to be having included pad-printed Firestone Deluxe Champion tires, which I'm not sure those tires have been done before, as far as being a tire that's been in other releases that AMT has done. I'm not sure. I'd have to go really, really dig, and I don't care. Another Class 8 tractor. They're going to be reissuing the white Freightliner single axle. It's been quite a long time since the single axle version of this has been out. Of course, the dual axle was reissued probably 2-3 years ago, maybe a little. Again, the trucks are kind of a fog. In the sense that a lot of these kits were reissued from 2010 to 2012 or so before we started doing, really paying attention to what was going on and got really back into the hobby. And, of course, we've been on the show for 2 years, so I really could tell you what happened in the last 2 years, but before that, the last time it was reissued is a little foggy. The single axle hasn't been reissued in quite a while. It'll be interesting to see if the tooling still exists in a functional way for the double pup trailer that goes with this single axle. It's been sold a couple of different ways over years, but really it's designed to go with that set of two 28-foot doubles, or what they call pup trailers, because they're little puppies compared to big full-size trailers. Because this is going to have consolidated freightways, and something else that slips my mind as far as trucking companies. They're going to have a whole new sort of retooled decal sheet with accent stripes. They're plating the gas tanks, or the fuel tanks, to be precise, before somebody calls me up and be like, "Hey, you said gas and it's diesel." They're retooling not retooling, but replating, or plating for the first time. No replating. Plating for the first time the tanks and the quarter fenders, which would be the little fenders that are on the front side of the wheels on a tractor. Those have always been unplated in the past, and they're plating them for the first time in this reissue. I don't know how I feel about that necessarily, because anybody who does trucks for a living, like I do, I drive for a living, tanks aren't chrome to begin with. They are polished stainless steel. If you see one that looks like chrome, it's polished stainless steel. There is no such thing as like a chrome fuel tank. Maybe there is such a thing as a chrome fuel tank in like a show truck, where it's not going to be an actual working show truck. It's just a show truck. But anything you see polished on a truck is either aluminum or stainless steel, and there's no chrome per se. So like plating the tanks, okay, well, you still have to put the tanks together, and there's still going to be a seam, and for the casual entry-level builder who doesn't care about that sort of stuff, or it's not on their priority list, they just want to build the truck, then yeah, I can see where they'll be happy to have the chrome. For a more serious builder, yeah, I don't know, that doesn't really do much for me. I mean, I was stripping them and repaint them anyway. So regardless of whether they were plastic, just bare white plastic, or now they're chromed, they still get the same treatment as far as I'm concerned. Now I just have to take an extra step and dechrome them. So, kudos to doing it for round two, because it's as I said, it's a good thing for the beginning builder, but for the more serious builder, it's just adding a step to take stuff back off again. They're going to reissue the Blazing Bison Polar Tractor, and this is one of those great big 3 or 4 engine, I think it's 3-engined tractors, like they use in a truck and tractor pull. I don't even know when the last time this was out. I think it was during the AMT Ertl days. I don't think Racing Champions ever reissued any of the Polar trucks or Polar tractors. So that's going to be interesting to see back. It'll have brand new decal sheet, of course, cartograph decals, but beyond that, there's nothing new about that kit. They're also going to be reissuing the 1977 AMC Pacer wagon, and that is going to be reissued as a 2-in-1. A lot of people realize the last time the Pacer wagon has come around, it's been in a custom variation. They haven't retooled anything, but they've opened all the gates. So you will be able to build it either as a completely and totally factory stock Pacer, or the more familiar custom one that has been reissued a couple times in the 80s afterwards. You haven't been able to build a factory stock since its 77 annual reissue, or original issue, I don't think. They're going to also include pad-printed Goodyear tires in them. Probably will be the same pad-printed tires that came in the recent Volare, more than likely. And then lastly, the first brand new automotive tool we have gotten from round two, not discounting the Snap-Tight NASCAR Car Tomorrow kits, because I'm sorry, those were just toys. They're really lousy model kits. They're great for your kids, but otherwise they're not anything to write home about. And that is the 2016 Chevrolet Camaro SS. They're going to be doing this kit in 2 different ways. The Snap-Tight kit is going to come first. Now, the Snap-Tight kit will be a curbside. It'll be molded in 3 different colors. I think it's black, gray, or it would be white, but black, a base color sort of for your interior. And the body itself would be molded in garnet red. And then some point in the future, so far it hasn't popped up on their list for September as of yet, but I don't think they've uploaded a September list so far. They're going to do a full detail glue kit of this, full engine, full full everything. Is going to be their first, honest to God, new automotive tooling, pretty much since the Racing Champions days, and some of those new kits back then weren't really all that good. So this is really sort of, in a way, the first new tool kit that they've done, since AMT Ertl days. Yeah, you have the GTO, you have the Escalade, you have the the Chrysler 300, and other kits that were tooled up during the era. And there's some Polar Light kits in there. They're technically speaking, were that's when Racing Champions owned everything. But anybody who's actually built any of those Racing Champion era new tools know that they were really half measure kits. That GTO is pretty lousy. The engine in it is just sort of a blob, and they're okay, but I'm interested to see what this is going to look like. The test shots have looked really nice, so hoping for a really good kit there. I know they're not going to roll out a whole new kit line or anything else like that. I'm not exactly sure why this is what they picked as the first new tool kit to do, but I will take it and run with it. Over at Revell, you got 3 automotive releases in the month of August. They are the Tom Daniels Beer Wagon. This is, of course, a 124 scale monogram kit from back in the day. It's kind of interesting to see that they're allowed to call it a beer wagon again. I seem to recall the last reissue, and maybe the one before that, it's just sort of been a wagon with keg thingy-looking thingies on the back. This is actually being called a beer wagon, and actually has the beer wagon decals in it. They're going to reissue the 1958 Impala. That, of course, is, a kit that's been around since, I want to say, the late 90s, maybe. And then the one new tool kit, really, because from what I understand, it really doesn't share that much with the 68 and 69, and that is the 1970 Dodge Charger Fast and the Furious kit. This is going to be a scale level 5. It's got 122 pieces. But please know, going in, listen to, if you blow out everything else in this video, listen to this part. It is only buildable as the Fast and the Furious car. Yes, you could, of course, apply your modeling skills to convert it back into something resembling a factory stock vehicle. I will tell you, that is more than likely a waste of time. Revell will do that for you at some point in the future. However, this kit, as it stands, can only be built as the Fast and the Furious car, really from the first movie. Blown Hemi, roll cage. It has a racing style interior. Doesn't have any kind of factory stock interior whatsoever. It's got fire extinguisher and a big jacked up suspension to give it the stance that it had in the movie, where it's very much a nose down, ass up look. Of course, the blown engine, which is not a factory stock either. So like I said, going into this, know that you can't get, it's not a 2-in-1. It's not, there'll be don't listen to anyone else on the internet. Listen to the Stash Project. Don't be ignorant. That's why we have that thing on the end of the video. I've always seen a whole bunch of stuff about this kit ever since it's been announced about how it's going to be this, how it's going to be that. Now we have the promotional material directly from Revell because it's a new release. It's not anything other than just a Fast and the Furious movie tie-in. Will there be a factory stock one? When? Yeah, we'll find out. But, if you really want to do the factory stock car, that's what I want. I'll pass on this because the Fast and Furious movie chain, I like this car, so much to build a model kit of it. And no. Kudos to Revell for doing it because, like I said, this will lead into probably what is one of the most requested kits out there in the muscle car era, which is the 1970 Dodge Charger, which seems like such a no-brainer after having that in 68 and 69 around for so long now. Moving overseas, this month may portend the issue of the new Meng Hummer H1. We just talked about this in the Friday video about the pricing on this. Hobby Easy has it for the cheapest price, even when you factor in their slightly increased shipping rate, because the kit and the shipping ends up being trying to make the math work right there. Yeah, it ends up being like $57. And then the buy-in at Hobby Search is $62, and the buy-in at Hobby Link Japan is almost $68. So even with the $17.40 shipping that Hobby Easy is showing as the shipping rate, and that may get adjusted when the kit comes in if the kit weighs a different amount. So it's always possible that shipping rate could go down. Hobby Easy still seems to be the cheapest way to get a hold of it. Certainly will be more than likely much cheaper than any local hobby shop in the United States will end up carrying it for. for sure we'll get the B-Max Nissan 240 RS rally car. Actually, I saw today that the photo etch set is already out in Hong Kong at Hobby Easy. The kit is supposed to come out tomorrow. That's all, of course, guesstimate dates, but that means that the kit will come out of Japan for sure this month. Japan will probably actually get it. I'm surprised it didn't come in today. I'm willing to bet it will come in tomorrow for the people who've been waiting quite a while for that kit. And that means, of course, we can progress on to the BMW M3 into the actual, goodness of the month here. Hasegawa going to reissue the Lamborghini Miura P400 SV, the Super Veloz kit, as the Restoration 4846 chassis car. What the 4846 car was is a one-off car that was the original show vehicle that Lamborghini took around to advertise the 1974 Lamborghini Miura Super Veloz. It's kind of a one-off car, and it'll be interesting to see if Hasegawa includes any new pieces in this kit to sort of reflect that nature, or if it's just going to be molded in green. It's a special car because it is the first Lamborghini restored from Lamborghini's new factory restoration division. So everyone says it's a really, really nice car. It looks like a really nice car in pictures, but it's one of those you see it in a mirror, you see them all kind of things, unless I guess you really appreciate it in person. They're also going to be reissuing their Lancia 037 rally car in the Griffin sponsorship. I need to look up what race that's for, but I don't have it written down here. And also they're reissuing their Volkswagen Type 2 cargo van with the glorious, they're in bikinis this time, but the glorious schoolgirls that advertise Hasegawa's egg plane series of 1/72nd scale egg planes, which are sort of cartoon airplanes built around the idea of an egg. This is the Egg Girls of Summer 2016 vehicle, so that's got to be kind of interesting. I need to really be into the Egg Girls thing to appreciate that, probably. You can get the Type 2 cargo van just factory stock anytime you want it. It's still in the catalog. It's a good way to get in trouble with a female if they don't understand that you happen to like the anime thing. Fujimi reissuing the Toyota Prius as a police car. A number of actual photos of the real car, because a lot of people here in the United States, which of course Fujimi doesn't care about, a lot of people in the United States were like, oh, what would you use that for? Well, I don't know what they use it for in the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department, but they really are basing it on a real car. It's not just something they came up with. They're going to be reissuing the Nissan Cedric Gloria 430 Turbo. That's an old motorized kit of a sort of 1980s version of the Cedric Gloria. That's sort of a combination kit. It's always been a combination kit, so this is not technically a merging, but you can build one car or the other. Obviously, you can't build them both. They're going to reissue the Toyota Cresta 2.5 GT Twin Turbo, curbside kit from the representing a Toyota Cresta from like the late 1980s. They're going to reissue their Mazda RX-7 Savannah SA22C. Now, that's a first-gen RX-7. It'll be a JDM Savannah rather than being sort of a global, RX-7 like what we've had here in the United States. If you want a first-gen RX-7, you still need to go find one of the old Monogram kits. That's still the only one that I'm aware of that has left-hand drive and that sort of thing inside of it. This is not one of Fujimi's tools. It's something else, which means it is probably also motorized. And then they're also going to reissue their Mazda 323 Familia, which is an old Mitsuya tooling, and that is really, really motorized to the point where the hatch, if I'm not mistaken, this is the one where the hatch opens because that's how you get the batteries in and out. So, be interesting. There's no real call for a 323 kit being retooled, but it'd be interesting to just have it sort of as a regular kit rather than being an old motorized thing. And lastly, over at Aoshima, there are no kits going into the new kit series. This is all just restock reissues. There will be some, of course, some of those, of course, for September, but that's another video. They're going to reissue their Walter Wolf Countach, that, of course, the Lamborghini Countach that Walter Wolf did. Has a slightly different engine in it than the original Lamborghini Countach. Had an engine of a prototype, if I recall the story right, but it's just part of the supercar series. It's just another one of their, full detail Countach kits. They're going to be reissuing 4 of the Liberty Walk Nissan kits. They're going to reissue the Skyline 4-door, which is the blue and silver car. It's the first car in that series. Their Ken and Mary 2-door, which is the race car. It's a black car with gold stripes, number 73 race car. Irony, they're going to issue the kit that this is based off of next month. And that's the second kit in the Liberty Walk series. They're going to reissue the Hakasuka two-door Skyline, and that is the real dark blue one. And then they're going to reissue their Ken and Mary 2-door 2014, which is the powder blue one, which is every time we talk about this kit, say it's a really cool car. Wish they had done more to make the kit look like the real car, especially on the interior side of things. They're going to reissue from the initial D series, Takahoshi Ryosuke's initial D FC3S RX7 and the battle version FC3S RX7, and that's the one that just came out here at the end of last year, beginning of this year, that has the new wing and the new wheels and all that stuff. And then they're also going to reissue the initial D Toyota Truno AE86 Volume 1, which of course is the factory stock, if you will, Toyota Truno that has just the Watanabes, and it's just, has the engine insert and all that stuff, but it's just baseline. There's no extra parts for it. So anyway, guys, it's a full month there. I'm sure there's something there that can trip your trigger and empty your wallet. There's a couple things that are intriguing to me. I'm not sure beyond the Hummer what I'll get. It'll really depend on, maybe something will hit me in the mood. The Pacer wagon, sort of in that whole malaise thing that I've been enjoying from round 2. The single axle white Freightliner. I don't build a lot of trucks, so I actually don't even have a lot of truck kits. I have 5 truck kits, and I drive trucks. That's one of those things. You don't build what you drive. There's a couple other things that might be interesting, but anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you guys on the other side.